Welcome to my apiary. In my next task here today, I'm going to finally deal with a few of these. My wife actually started this yesterday. She did, it's kind of messy, but she ended up consolidating this one and taking a few of those that were failing, not failing, but not doing much, and we used the brood elsewhere. So she made this one nice nuke here that will winter. And again, these queens were deemed either too old or too far behind to bother with this year. However, some of them have proven me wrong. Some have, fit the bill for what that is. So if there's any brood in these, as I consolidate these into the 6-framers, then I'll just add those brood frames to those. It is a little bit of a dance here because these doubles are 8 frames. So I'm going to lose 2 frames. So I don't know how many frames of brood there are in those, but we're going to find out here pretty quick. Another little dance is I want to leave them here so the foragers will find their way. However, there's only room for 3 poly 6s here. And so what will probably happen is these 3 colonies will end up here in poly 6s. This one will get terminated and used as I described. So I think I'm going to start by moving that little one, and then put my poly 6 frame on the end. Kind of neat to push these together to get that one to fit on the pallet. I want it to fall off. And you got bees everywhere. A lot of grasshoppers. These have some weight to them, that's for sure. Okay, so I guess it makes sense that I wobbly. We'll transfer this one into here. It's not that hot, but it's very humid. It rained an hour ago. See, these have done very well. Oh, she took a, well, I don't know if she did. Somebody took a frame out. There's only 3 frames on top of that. Okay, we'll take all the brood frames and all the bees. I wish beekeeping was all nukes. I love nukes. There's no brood in that. I'll just set that here for now. There's brood here for sure. So that's good because I've got 6 frames left now. Nice brood frame here. And that's full of eggs, and my queen is right there. She's green. She's a 2019 queen. Holy smokes. She comes from good stock, and she disappeared to, yeah. Okay, walk over this way. There we go. I don't think I've primed this pen yet. Oh yeah, I have. Look at that. Talking to James McNally last night. He's been using these competitive advantage pens, and he says that he marked queens a year ago, the fall of 21, and he said they're still marked as good as the day he did it. And that's what I like to hear. So she can sit in there while I work because she is safe. This one I'm going to shake off while I have space in here. That'll be amazing if she lives the winter. 2019 queen. That's pollen in there. I'll shake them off for now. Well, actually, I'll just leave them. There's more bees than comb in there, and they got nowhere to go. It's a pretty nice brood frame, too. So I gave this task to my wife yesterday. She did really good, and she's starting to take more interest in the nitty-gritty of the bees, why we do what we do instead of just, doing a task. And so I told her, look at that, nice. I told her to open these nukes, evaluate them, and see if she thinks that we should try to winter them. And she, of course, then asks me, well, how do I know if we should winter them? So I said, well, here's the deal. You got to evaluate what's it going to cost you to winter this colony. There's space in the bee barn, so that's not an issue. It's not going to cost me more money to have them in the bee barn. It's not a congestion or a space issue. It's not an equipment issue. It's a tiny little bit more management, not a big deal. There's fall treatment, which is usually oxalic acid vapor, which is a little, it's probably going to cost me 10 or 15 minutes work, and 50 cents worth of oxalic acid. So that's not really an issue. I may give them a pollen patty, maybe a half a pollen patty. That's going to cost me $1. some syrup in the spring if they winter. But if they winter, that's a good investment, because you got a colony. In the fall, costs are your risk, right? And it's all about mitigating risk. To mitigate is to reduce. And so I said, well, you might pour $15 worth of sugar into here, in the way of fall feeding syrup, and just the work to do it. But again, the work isn't out of pocket. So, this is going to cost you $20 to chance this wintering. And so, go from there. When you look at a call and you say, hey, do I want to bother wasting $20 on the chance that this might winter successfully? That's what you're looking at. And I usually don't winter them. I'll usually make a deal with a friend, come and get them, and he'll winter them. And he's had about 50% success on them. But hey, it's 50%, and he gets a really good deal. However, sorry to say, and you know who you are, my queen rearing didn't go that good this year. My numbers aren't great, so I'm going to take that risk myself this year. Okay, so I got 5 frames here. And what's this one? This one is kind of open, so she could lay. That's pollen. Okay, that's baby food, so we'll give them that one. They need that. Alright, so this is a nice nuke, and we will put that together for winter. And here's our queen. Open that up. There she goes. She's just on the top bar. I like to cover her so she doesn't fly. Oh, don't be mean to the queen. Oh, I hope they didn't take exception to her. Try to get as many of these bees in there as you can without getting stung. That kind of a big thump can make them hate the queen too. So it's up a risk. Okay. SF19. That was a good line of queens that I got. I got some cells from a buddy that year. Okay, I've got to do the next one. These little guys, they make some honey. They got some weight. So I'll push this over there. Put my poly box right here. Okay, my first choice for these would be my wooden 6-frame boxes, but I ran out. I'm actively trying to increase my inventory of wooden 6-framers. They just fit my management style a whole lot better. Being on 2-way pallets, not 2-way, 3-way, but you know what I mean. Now this one doesn't look quite as strong. And I was saying on my other video, Buddy made these OTS splits in 2020, and well, they turned out to be good queens. And this is one of them. So it looks like we may be adding brood to this one, but maybe not. See, there's eggs in this, eggs and larvae, so that's staying. Boy, those are nice queens that he made that year. Look at Look at the brood. It's very nice. Okay, has this one got anything in it? It's pollen, nectar, and honey. And it doesn't, and a queen. I just want to mark her again too. I don't think there's anything else in this frame. I'll set it there for now and then shake it off. I'm going to remark that queen again. She's blue. I want that nib to be a little bit wet, but not floody. Flood that queen pretty easily. Okay, we'll shake this off. Grass going up my legs, feels like bees. I want a Milwaukee M18 string trimmer. If anybody watching has one, let me know if you like it. This is going to go this way. A little bit of brood and then a bunch of pollen on it. It's nice to work in a hive when you know the queen is safe over here. Try not to get too disrespectful, but boy, jumping on me. Yeah, she's laying pretty good pattern. Like a look in the cups, we don't need any super procedure attempts this time of year. Alright, what's in this one? Looks like it might not be brood. It's pollen. I'm going to turn that around. I'll put that one on the outside. It's got some open space for her to lay into. Hopefully she's up to the task. And dump these. I don't like that at all. Ugh. The fact that I just got stung 3 times is proof. Of course, smoker is not working well. Okay, now that we've stirred everybody up, dump the queen back in it. Come on, Queenie, go down the hole. Okay, and I'll push this one back over there. And then I can do the third one right here. There's no eggs on the outside, but there's a really nice pattern on the inside. And again, these are fairly new frames I put in here, and boy, they were beautiful when they first laid up. There's a few eggs on that one, and a few eggs on that side, and a blue queen. And I think she could use a touch-up as well. See, I'm still touching up the Posca queens. And of course, she'll be safe while I work. It's a 2020 queen, same year as the last one. Oh. I mean about not floody. Just give me that big thorax there. Okay. This frame may not have any brood. Just shake it off. Even if these nukes make it through the winter and don't make it into full honey production next year, if they produce a frame or two of brood into May, then that's all I need them to do, because then I can use that resource to make a split. Use that resource for another nuke. This one, I think I'm gonna put this backwards because there's nothing on the outside of it. They're plugging her out with pollen. The pattern doesn't look good, but there's a lot of pollen in there. Again, a pretty good pattern. See, that's 6 frames now. What do I got left? I've got a pollen frame. That's it. So challenge getting 8 frame nukes in a 6 frame box. Okay. Get your queen. Oh, I'm kind of being mean to her. I hope she'll be okay. Alright. They seem to be, you know, they get all aggressive there. Okay, there's one more double back here. I'm assuming the doubles are good to go for transfer. Well, that one is not fantastic. See, this is stuck right down, so this might be, holy smokes. It should have been a double. It's packed right out. Alright. Put this one up. That one's really heavy. I'll get another box. Oh, upside down. No wonder it wouldn't fit right. Okay. I have a love-hate with these polys. There's some stuff I love about them, and there's plenty I hate about them. I love that I have them, because I don't have enough 6s. So that's the most important thing. And in that was the price. The price could not have been better, if you know what I mean. They're all they're all chewed up by wax moths. The guy didn't want to deal with it, so very generous. Very generous. He calls me up. Hey, you want to deal with this messy stuff? Come and get him. Okay, there's brood on that. Bunch there too. Lots of brood on this one. Big slabs of brood. They're backfilling a bit, so it doesn't look quite like the perfect pattern, but it's pretty darn good. It's honey season. There's another blue queen. And again, I think yeah, she's got a good mark. I'm gonna just stop the nonsense and leave her alone. Blue queens, though, doing okay. I'll put this on the outside. With 2 more, if I can get 2 more frames of brood for here, I'll put those in there. But I need to go through some of these singles. Gonna have to start pinching queens here. Oh, that's a pretty good one too. So I'll have to set that aside. This one here, you probably can't see me, but it's a little single that isn't likely going to grow enough to winter, but it has a little bit of brood to offer. Just have to find a queen and pinch her. Alright, there she is. Okay. Thank you for your service. Animal kingdom is a 100% meritocracy. And it's a difficult thing for us to bring ourselves to that. I don't like doing that, but what else are you going to do? Okay, so I know I've mixed bees from 2 hives. The one that came with the queen is stronger. I should have maybe sprayed them, but they're in there now. Okay, there's that one. There's eggs in there. There's a queen right there. Just went around the other side. I wish I could pick them up and mark them like Bob does. It would be so much easier. Catcher works great. Catcher got me into marking queens, so you know, it's a great tool. It's more effort than just picking them up though. It's a pretty good brood frame. This would be a good method if you're buying some queens. You know, you buy some queens in the fall and you've got brood and bees here to make up some nice nukes. Just make up some nice nukes with the mated queens. Okay, so I got 4. I can put 2 more in there. Oh, you know what? I put this stupid box upside down again. I wonder, I was thinking of frames are sitting kind of high. Oh boy. Okay. Do this over again. Okay, that's better. Now the frames actually sit inside. That one I want to put there. It's got nothing on the outside and some eggs and whatnot on the inside, so if I can put a frame of brood oh, I'd like a couple more brood frames there, but I'm going to go ahead with starting to transfer this one. There's a great big queen right on top, right on the top cone. Oh, she went down there. It seemed like she was moving fast, but she's gone. Oh, there she is. Okay, let's do that makeup. Royal blue makeup. Okay, you can sit right there while I pilfer your hive. It's pretty good, actually. It's single, but it's right full. I'm gonna have 4 frames out of this one. To get rid of this. Got a bit of a frenzy going on here. We're getting robbing for the first time this season. This one might make a nuke, but I need some more brood frames here. So I'm just going to look behind me. There's a couple singles here. Singles, they look pretty good. That one doesn't. I just have to remember these aren't full. And I have mercy on these bees. This is kind of a bad time. Because they look like they're being mean to those queens. It's Wednesday, August 17th, 2022. I can't believe I'm saying it, that it's that late. And we waited and waited all spring, and summer has just flown by. Now, my last attempt at this ended rather abruptly, and I'm adding this to the previous video because it's the same subject. And what happened here was I was transferring these wooden nukes here into the poly equipment. So remember that these are 4 frame boxes, so the doubles are 8 frames. They don't suit my wintering management as well as the poly boxes. So these are 6 frame poly boxes. A little bit of juggling on frame numbers to do there. But I was shut down pretty fast. It was Monday I was doing this. And I was shut down pretty fast by robbing. I had a couple of hives open, sorting frames around, etc. And things just turned into a complete madhouse here. So I had to shut it down, close everybody up, and I actually closed the entrances down. I've restricted this one. This one's just a pile of boxes, so there's nothing special, but I restricted the entrances on the polys, and I turned the entrance discs on the little ones here just so that one bee can get through to help them defend off the robbers. So I got the smoker started up there. I got my coffee, all important coffee, and I've actually got something else I want to show you here. I picked up a new box of paint pens. They're not paint pens, they're what do you call them? They're paint markers. It's called Paint Stick is the brand, the product name. The manufacturer is Markall, and that's what I use for writing on top of my hive. Some people ask, and I buy them in boxes of 12. They ended up being, actually went down this time. They were like $1.79 each or something. So I'll let you get a gander at that. And if you're looking for them, that should give you everything you need to know to find those. I buy it at one of my local suppliers in the city, so that's not going to help you very much. So those are, it's called a solid paint marker, and that's exactly what it is. It's actually a paint in a kind of a solid form. It's kind of the consistency of a wax crayon, but it's a paint. And so if you write on your covers, and then that paint will dry over time. I don't know if it takes a day, maybe a few days, and it's painted, it's on there. But I am able to kind of scrape it off, you've seen, to write different notes on there. So anyway, Markall paint stick, that's what I'm using. So it's a wee bit early. Hopefully they don't pound me too bad. They were getting kind of excited last time I was here. I took quite a few stings. But it rained last night, rained the night before, evening before. So Monday evening, we got some really heavy thunderstorms here. It was quite incredible. And then I can see it did rain a bit again last night. So everything's a bit soggy. The dirt area here is mud. I have to not step in that as best I can while I do my work. So it's starting to warm up. It was 22°C when I came out, so it's warm. And then with the rain, it's very, very humid. 22 degrees, and there's still dew on the grass. It's going to be an extremely humid day. So I need to jump into these and get some work done here. My last act when I was forced out of here was to bring out the equipment I'll need. So it's all just kind of stacked here randomly. So I need to just get down to a bottom board. And I'd like to work on this side, so I'm going to push this little hive over there. Maybe. Set the sixer here. 6 of these 6s fit on a full-size chep nicely. Okay, now we get to find out if these girls have a sense of humor this morning or not. Oh, you know what? Let's solve this problem too. These boxes, I've had to use tuck tape on them to make a frame rest. They were so badly eaten. They work. They work. A little bit goofy, but they work. So it's another one that's nicely plugged out. goal is to have 6 frames of brood, but it doesn't always work out that way. There's brood on that. Nice capped pattern there. Another nice cap pattern, and that's full of open brood. There's a little cup there I just want to see in. Just freshly laid a couple of days ago. And there's my blue queen. I don't know if you can see her, but she's right here. I can't see the screen, so I can't really keep her in the center of the frame. Okay, so she's still doing her job. That's nice. And this is stores. So we will I'll just set that here for now. I'll get this other box off. It has to be shaken. I'll just sit there for the time being. So I know the queen is in here. That's good. This box is a bit tight. It's not too bad. There's a lot of bees in here, but I know where the queen is. So I know when I pull this frame, there shouldn't be a queen on it. Now, we learned earlier this summer that there can be 2 queens, didn't we? There's not a lot on this side, but there's cap brood there, so I'll have to put that right. You know what? I'm gonna put that as an outside frame, because I don't think there's anything on that side. Okay, I've got room for 2 more frames here. Nice capped pattern here. If I have more than 2 frames, again, I know the queen's not in here. I can take that, add it to one perhaps like this little guy here. That's still a pretty strong nuke, but there's still only 4 frames in there. And that is open brood here. And the big question is, what's on this one? This is... It does not look like there's a lot on that. There's a little bit of sealed brood. So we will transfer that to another nuke. Now I'm leaving that without bee coverage. And again, it's a pretty warm day. They should be okay. And I think that is that. I went to the hardware store yesterday and bought some of that Reflectix insulation. It's not Reflectix brand. that double, or that foil wrap, the foil bubble wrap stuff. I don't know what to call it. It's foil on each side and it's kind of bubbly, like bubble wrap. For the inner covers, you see it all the time here, because I don't have a lot of 11-inch for the 6 framers, so I'll be making up a bunch of those here soon. I should be able to push that to the center and do another one here. I like to kind of clean up the bottom boards, however. You read Honeybee Democracy by Tom Seeley, and the bees, they don't really have a big preference for cleanliness of the floor of the hive. He determined that they didn't really show a preference to what that floor was made of and how much junk was on it, etc. I'm going to swap these around ultimately, because I'm going to take that little one there, and so that one's going to end up being on this side, and that'll be fine, because the smaller one then will inherit a few foragers from the larger one that was here. Okay. Pretty good. There's water in the bottom now. There's no mark on this one at all. Okay, so we have 4 frames here. Let's just hope we have 4 frames of brood. One might predict that we will not have 4 frames of brood. I have one here. Well, kind of one. We had very little brood on it. But brood is brood. Every bee matters. And there is open brood on this one. It's a feed frame on that side. Not surprising, being an outside frame. Oh, it's humid out here. A little tiny south breeze, which really is welcome. Okay. A little goofy pattern, but she's filled in the spaces. This pattern looks pretty nice. I don't need to assess these, but I don't want to do it blindly. You know, I want to, if the queen is actually not laying or there's a problem, I don't want to bother transferring them, using up equipment, feeding them all full, trying to winter them, find out there's nobody at home in the spring. Okay, so it's another nice sealed brood frame. And this one is brood as well. So that actually made 4 frames of brood. So it's a pretty nice brood frame. And this side is not even quite drawn. Hopefully they can get behind that before winter. I don't know, at this time of year they don't draw very well. And it looks to me like somebody tried to encourage them to draw that outside of the flow, and when that happens they will strip the wax off of the foundation and repurpose it to building comb, and it's not what you want. Okay, so we're missing a frame here. I kind of am just going to try and remember that, because I do want to put a lid on it. Try to get as much done here as I can without everybody losing their mind again like they did last time. That was quite remarkable, a little distressing. Okay, we'll put that on there. I'll try and remember one more frame in there. Alright, now I've got a little one over here off camera. I'll just move it over here. I know it's going to lose some bees, but move it over here. So This is the little guy. And I may end up with an empty space there too. And that's good. I mean, not good that I end up with empty space, but it's good to do these first. So when I come up with spare frames, as I did earlier, I'll have a place I can put them. It's not as strong. I've been moving it around though, so it's been losing population as I do that, which, you know, not the best idea. Kind of position where I just need to get this done. I could have taken some of these into the building and just bring them out fresh. I think that's all nectar. So set that here for now. So at best we're going to end up with 3 frames out of this one. Hopefully some of the bigger ones will yield an extra. Looks pretty good. That side looks really nice. This one is maybe a judgment call, and there's the queen there, blue queen. My hands are busy, I can't point to her, but she's nicely marked, so I think that looks like a competitive advantage mark. It looks really nice. And there's a frame that's brewed on one side. Okay, so this one maybe should be a donor, but it's hard to make that call because that means pinching that nice looking queen. It's part of the job, but it's not what I like to do. I'm looking in that, there's eggs in that. Put that on the outside. So she's not as unproductive as it might seem. Okay, so I still need 2 more there, but I will put this lid there. Now, don't forget, there's 1 there and 2 there I need. Same thing, I'll push this one over. Keep the poly on this side. It's crickets. I saw something yesterday that I'm certain of what it was, although I'm no entomologist. I mean, it took me a minute. There's tons of crickets around here. They get into things, they'll get under things and whatnot. I was sorting boxes, and this something or other came out, and it looked a little weird. I wasn't sure what it was, but I looked at it a while, and it was ginger red. It was ginger red, and the wings were white. And I looked at that a minute, and I thought, you know what, that's a cricket. That's an albino cricket. So that was pretty unusual. And I think it was probably blind. A lot of them are, I think. And it didn't scurry too much just with my presence. It would react to, you know, thumping things around and moving things. So I'd never seen one of those before. It's pretty interesting. So this one is also not an absolute boomer. But I knew they wouldn't be, right? It's just trying to recover some resources. Just get something in the barn, you know. Usually I went over there. I went over yesterday with kind of the things to consider when deciding whether or not to keep this colony all winter. And I used to consider the cost to insure it, which isn't that much, but I didn't include that consideration this year because I'm kind of decided not to insure this year. It's a big expense, you know. It's a big expense that I don't have to incur. Money is always tight, especially in the spring. Money is tight in the spring, and that's when my insurance premiums are due. She's laying nicely. And one of the things that really clinched my decision, I gotta say, is, you know, if you've been watching my videos, you know what kind of spring we had. Just was such an incredibly stressful spring. Bees and beekeeper alike, you know. And honestly, I view insurance as a stress reliever. You know, it's supposed to make your life a little less stressful. And boy, the guy who was handling my account with that insurance company, he did not get that at all. In a horrible bedside manner, very demanding, and very not a customer relations person at all. Of course, he's run by provincial government, so, you know, government employees, there's a lot of good ones, but there's some of them that really play on the fact that they're government employee because they don't have the people skills to work in the private sector. And this guy is proof positive of that. And you know, as stressful as my spring was, he increased my stress. So I don't need that. I don't need that. There's a nice pattern. There's a nice white marked queen there. So we'll put her right in there. Everybody else. Okay. I'll get everybody else in here. Hopefully. Don't get stung. Oh, there's a bunch on the bottom. These little boxes I made them specifically. I think you can see through it. It's got a screen on the bottom. I made them specifically so that I can move them into my building and have a good ventilation on the bottom like that. So it looks like I'm coming up short here every time. We'll fix that. We'll fix that. We just have to remember. Check, everybody. Okay, we got one more there. Box, right side up, not like yesterday or Monday. Hopefully they build out a bit. You know, with that much capped brood, they can't help it. And honestly, some of these may be behind due to a Nozema infection. I know there was quite a bit of Nozema found this spring. Okay, so here's a big fat cell on the bottom. It's old though, so whatever made it, whatever emerged from there did so quite some time ago. So the Nozema, Nozema serrana is specifically what I'm talking about. Kind of ages the bees too fast. There's a nice brood frame, and Therefore, the attrition versus replacement bees ratio is thrown off out of whack. She's still laying, you know, it's a good queen, but she can't catch up because the adult bees aren't living as long, so they're dying too quickly. And I believe specifically the bees transition from nurse bee to adult bee, or nurse bee to forager or something. They transition out of the nurse bee stage too quickly, and so therefore there's a deficit of nurse bees, and that affects the nutrition while the larvae are developing. So it just affects it overall. Now, so I got 3 frames here. Do I bother with this? I don't know. I got a laying queen. Kind of do this and see how it goes. I've only got 1 double over there. There's 3 singles and a double. I'm inclined I'm in the mood today just to keep them. Okay, so that needs to be fleshed out as well. Okay, rinse and repeat. Except I can't get that lid off. I'll do it this way. Okay, much more buzz in here. A lot of aircraft over here. We're in the air lane of a municipal airport. Everything that flies, I shouldn't say everything, a lot of the planes that fly to the northern communities go right over my farm. I grew up around airplanes and always been interested. Never did fly myself, but I like to play Name That Aircraft by the way it sounds, and I'm getting pretty good at it. You could easily hear that it was a turboprop, single engine turboprop. I don't know the name of the aircraft, I don't know the manufacturer and designation, whatnot, but I can tell you the difference between a Boxer and a turboprop and a honeybee sting. Ow. And a radial. Radials are pretty easy. Well, turboprops are pretty easy too, but a nice frame here. Nice on that side. They're crawling up my arms. I gotta get this in here. They have taken exception to me. So I had a question the other day on my channel. It was said, I was told that the smoke calms the bees. Well, I guess it's a matter of perspective. I would never say that, because it does kind of excite them a little bit, but they don't like it, so they kind of move away. And also, a honeybee's life is largely smell. They smell with their antennae, they smell with their feet even. And the smoke just kind of disrupts that communication. Disrupts their ability to, you know, kind of find me, and their ability to gang up on me, because they have also in smells, we call them pheromones, and they have something called an alarm pheromone that they'll give off when they feel threatened. And when they sting you, generally they leave behind some of that alarm pheromone, which will then indicate to the other bees, you know, there's a problem here, come get them. Oh, this is nice and calm. He says as he gets stung in the back. Yikes. I get stung in the back, I can't reach it. Okay. I work swiftly, I can finish this. But they're jumping on me now, so I don't know. It might take me 3 days to finish this. So this is feed. A cell right in the middle, or a cup anyway. Since I'm probably not going to fill this box, I'll leave that feed frame in for now. This is young larva, and that's a nice cap pattern there. So that's another decent cap pattern. That is as well, kind of. It's a bit patchy, but she's filling that in. So, you know, if half of these winter, then I'll be happy. And that's a nice capped pattern there. I'm having a hard time turning them so you can see. Oh, it's covered in bees on the front and on the bottom. Yow! I didn't like that at all. Okay, have your way. So every single one of these needs more frames so far. Move the little one back. Oh, it sure is heavy though. They've been making honey. I'll slide the big one in the middle. I'll set the new one on this side. And further to the smoke discussion, doing that, smoking the entrance, the guard bees are the, as you can imagine by their name, are the most defensive. I won't say aggressive, because typically honeybees are not really aggressive. They avoid trouble, but they ain't afraid to give you trouble if you deserve it. That's the difference. That's, boy, that's honey. That's heavy, heavy, heavy. So there's no brood in that. There's pollen and honey. There's some brood in this one. Lots of open brood. She's laid that up nice. And she's laid that up nice too. I just want to quickly look at these cups. I don't anticipate any trouble. I always want to look. Gives you insight into the thought process of the colony. What are they thinking? Let's go sting that beekeeper is what they're thinking half the time. Okay, nice little patch there offset with young brood in the open cells. Yeah, this is looking really nice so far. Okay, here's something to illustrate to you. I don't know if I can really show you, but you see all this on the bottom, all of these, and there's a mess in there yet. These are drones, and this is what the story frame helps to, I'm going to say mitigate for sure. Eliminate, not really, but all but eliminate. Because they have, with the existence of the story frame, they have every opportunity to create drone laying cells. That's a wrong terminology, but cells in which the queen can lay drones in the story frame, so they don't do that and make that big mess in the hive. So you can see that now. It's all drone comb up there. I pull it apart, and you can see the drone larva. You know, just kind of a mess. I like my apiary and my hives to be as orderly and predictable as possible, because I don't know what I'm doing half the time. So I don't like frames that have a bunch of drone comb integrated in the frame, because if I run across a frame with a patch of drones in it that starts to raise questions and red flags, what's going on here? Have I got a drone laying queen? You know, all those questions. So I know some people, they have comb, and that's fine, it's not wrong, but I find it too distracting, too confusing. Okay, so here, I was wondering where the brood, well, the brood is here. Wow, a nice one there too. So that's why I like the story frames for that. So keep the drones in one area, make it predictable where those drones are going to be, centralize it. I can look at that story frame and I can see, okay, they're laying drones or they're not. This is one of those deeper boxes I have. The comb is built down here too deeply. Hope the queen wasn't in there. Sorry, drones. See, that's the thing. Then you work your hive and you end up doing that. Whereas the story frame, I don't have any reason to disrupt the development of those drones. I didn't see the queen, so I don't know where she is. Wow, that's a really good nuke. I'm going to try and carefully get this in here. It's very tight. Don't want to... I didn't see the queen, so I don't know where she is. And if she's in here, I don't want to mess her up, because she looks like she's doing okay. Okay. Yeah, this one is alright. Now I need to dump the bees out of this, because there's a lot of them in there. Really what I need is make sure the queen isn't in it. I didn't see the queen. So I need to get these two frames shaken off into there too. Oh, and the queen was on there. I just saw her just as I shook that. Okay, so now I know where the queen is. Well, at least I know where she was. She's in there somewhere. As long as she doesn't fly away, which they can do. Yeah, she's gone down inside. Okay, I need to shake one more and then I can button that up. This over here. This over here. Boy, it's good population. I'm pouring out the front there. Okay. I'll slide that up there and then transfer this last little one here. Oh, they're stinging me. Wow. Bees on the edge there, so. And then there's crickets in here too. Go out the front, crickets. Go out the front. Go out the front. Yeah, stupid crickets. Okay. Alright, I think I can do this. They're getting a bit wild, but I'll transfer this and then I need to fill up the remaining ones with frames. Kind of put that one backwards. Okay, that's full of open larvae. And that's just about done emerging. And she's laid it up again. And there's a whack of pollen in there. That's a nice pattern there. I regret not running these through the flow. Big plans, you know. I fall in love with my own ideas. I was warned years ago by a business mentor. That was one of the most important things that he stressed. He felt was important. There's the queen, and she's doing a good job there.
is, he said, don't fall in love with your own ideas. Keep an open mind. And if you have advisors who always agree with you, you need to find different advisors, because you're surrounded by yes men. He would use the illustration. He would say, if you have 3 business partners and they always agree, you have 2 too many business partners. Okay, so I'm just filling up now. There wasn't 6 frames, but that'll work. So that one's full. That one's definitely full. But everybody else needs a frame or 2. What does this one need? I'm starting to festoon there already. There's 4. I just need 2 in here. See, they're robbing. I don't know if she'll lay in these, but there's 2 in there. See, they festoon right away. They'll festoon in the middle there, where there's no frame, and they'll start building comb within minutes. Okay, that one's full. There's 2. They are a little rowdy here. Get that smoker again. One there. Oh, maybe 3. Okay, since this is kind of robbing season, I've been just putting these little wedges in here, just to make that entrance smaller, easier to defend. It doesn't look like this one needs much help, but I'll get some for that one too. I think I'm down 3. I need to just walk over there and get some more. Well, that little job is done. It was weighing on my mind because some of these bigger ones were really plugging out. I hope I've got all the frames. I'll be punished for that if I didn't. They started building frames by themselves, and that's a mess to clean up. So what do we got? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We have 20, I don't know what to call them. They're my resource nukes, but it looks like they're going to go into winter again. It's 20. I got to do a full count. See how many. Now that I've got things settled down as to who has a queen and who doesn't, then I need to count everything. So, well, thanks for sticking around for this nonsense here. Say a prayer for spring, eh? All they're going to get is they're going to get a patty. I don't know if I give them a full patty, maybe half. I don't know, maybe a full. Probably a full. I'll give them a patty in about 2 weeks. early September, first week of September in there somewhere. And then they'll get sugar syrup, they'll get fed all they want, and then they will get oxalic acid vapor treatment for varroa mites, and then they will get put in the bee barn, and that beekeeping season is over again until at least April. That's the plan. Thanks for sticking around. Have a great day. Have fun.